بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. So today I'm going to analyze Robert Frost's poem The Pasture. So without further ado, who is Robert Frost? Robert Frost is an American poet. He was born on March 26, 1874 in San Francisco, California. After that, he moved to Lawrence, Massachusetts. He became interested in reading and writing poetry during his high school years in Lawrence. He shifted through different occupations after leaving school, working as teacher, cobbler, and an editor, and also he was a farmer. In 1912, he moved to England to seek fame and to write poetry there, because it wasn't the case in America. So in 1912, he moved to England, and there he met some famous British poets like Edward Thomas, Rupert Brooke, and Robert Graves. And there he published his two first collections. The first one was A Boy's Will in 1913, and the second collection was North of Boston in 1914. And this collection, North of Boston, was the collection that catapulted him to the realm of fame. So he gained fame thanks to this collection. And in 1915, he returned back to America. And by the 1920, he was the most celebrated poet in America. And of course, he published other collections. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he had almost 11 collections. Of course, with the two I mentioned earlier. So he wrote or he published other collections like New Hampshire, A Further Range, Staple Bush, and In the Clearance. So, as I said, he became a national celebrity and an official poet laureate in America. And I believe, yeah, he was even praised by John Kennedy, the President John Kennedy. So Robert Frost is known for his simple style, his colloquial language, and his description of nature. When I was preparing this video, actually, I didn't find a lot of content about it either in Google or on YouTube. So I was obliged to watch a lot of interviews. So in one of the interviews, the journalist asked him, "What kind of poet do you consider yourself?" He said, "I don't like to be described as a nature poet, but he liked to be called a humanist." He said, only two poems. I have written only two poems without a human being in them. So all my poems have a person in them. So he preferred to be called as a humanist because he tackled the complexities of a human being in his poetry. So this is it about his style. But you may find a lot of description calling him as a nature poet, outdoor poet, because his style is straightforward, direct, and simple. You may think when you read his poems that he's describing nature, but when you think twice, you will know that these simple imagery just represents a deeper or metaphorical philosophical issue or concept. So it's not that simple, shallow, and superficial. Now let's move to the poem itself, The Pasture by Robert Frost. So, when was it written? The Pasture was written in 1910 when Robert Frost was inspired by the time he spent walking in a cow pasture in New England, America. Of course, this memory seemed to have meant a great deal to him as he continued to dwell on it throughout the rest of his life. So, this poem was published in um, his second collection north of Boston in 1914. And I told you about this collection that it was the the one which catapulted him to the realm of fame. So today's poem was the introductory, or he placed it as the first poem in his collection, and we will understand later why precisely the pasture as a first poem in his collection. Let's read the poem. The Pasture by Robert Frost. I'm going out to clean the pasture spring. I'll only stop to rake the leaves away and wait to watch the water clear. I may. I shan't be gone long. You come too. I'm going out to fetch the little calf that's standing by the mother. It's so young. It totters when she licks it with her tongue. I shan't be gone long. You come too. Beautiful short poem. So, the type of this poem. This poem categorized or classified as pastoral poem. What do I mean by pastoral poem? In Arabic, we say شعر رعوي because it idealizes rural life and it idealizes nature. Okay, so this is why we call it pastoral poem. Now let's move to the form and the structure. Well, it is obvious that the poem contains two stanzas. Each stanza consists of four lines, means it's quatrain. So the poem consists of two quatrain. Now let's move to the rhyme scheme. Uh-huh. The rhyme scheme. Let's define it together. I'm going out to clean the pasture spring. So it's A. Sorry. I'll only stop to rake the leaves away. So it's B. And wait to watch the water clear I may. Away rhymes with may. So it's B again. I shan't be gone long. You come too. So it's C. I'm going out to fetch the little calf. It's D. That's standing by the mother. It's so young. So it's E. It totters when she licks it with her tongue. So it's E, young, tongue. I shan't be gone long, you come too. So it's C, same as the first stanza. So the rhyme scheme of this poem is A, B, B, C, D, E, E, C. So if you notice, each stanza, in the middle of each stanza, we have a rhyming couplet here, B, B, and here E, E. So this couplet creates a perfect rhyme. A perfect rhyme. We call it a perfect rhyme. And the first stanza, the last line of the first stanza rhymes with the last line of the second stanza. So they are identical or exact rhymes. So this is it for the rhyme scheme. Now the meter. The meter is iambic pentameter. Pardon, it's iambic 3 meter in the first, second, and third line, and iambic tetrameter in the fourth line. Okay, same in the second stanza, so it's consistent. It's iambic 3 meter in first, second, third line, and iambic tetrameter in the fourth line. So, as you are constating, Robert Frost in this poem is traditional, and he is actually not a big fan of free verse. He states, I read this quote, I don't remember where, but he said, um, writing in free verse is just like playing tennis with net down. شغل تلعب تنس بالشبكة مقلوبة. هذا هو writing in free verse. So he is into writing with traditional forms and rhymes. Okay, so this is it for the form and structure. Yeah, other thing to talk about in this poem is the enjambment and the caesura, which control the pace of the poem. So the enjambment, just as a reminder, is when the line runs on the next line without a pause or a punctuation. Example of that is the second line of the first stanza runs on the third line. I'll only stop to rake the leaves away and wait to watch the water clear I may. So this makes the pace fast and speedy, okay? And caesura in the last line, I shan't be gone long, you come too. So when we have the pause in the middle of the line, we call it caesura. This makes us reflect or emphasize or slow down the pace of the poem. So this is it. Now, the most important thing, which is the explanation of the poem. So let's read the first stanza. I'm going out to clean the pasture spring. I'll only, I'll only stop to rake the leaves away and wait to watch the water clear I may. I shan't be gone long, you come too. So when you read this stanza, so it is so simple and clear. It's just a farmer, or a farmer. Yeah, before explain it, I need to. Yeah, we already talked about the pasture. Mar'a is a place where animals graze. The spring, it's simple. Memba, it's a source of water. Turek means to gather leaves. Shan't is the contracted form of shall not. Okay. So the meaning of this stanza, like the speaker or the farmer is telling us that he's going to do some farm activities. He's going to the pasture, he will clean the spring and ensure the running of the water again. Then he invites someone. It's not clear who is that person. Maybe a friend, his wife, or even his son. And the most how to say من المرجح جدا, it is quietly to be me and you, meaning the reader. So this invitation is for us as readers to accompany him, to join him in his activities. Okay, now let's move to the second stanza. I'm going out to fetch the little calf that's standing by the mother. It's so young. It totters when she licks it with her tongue. I shan't be gone long. You come too. So let's do the same. Totters means waves, like it cannot stand steadily. So يتأرجح, he's about to fall. This is totters. And fetch means to bring something or someone. Okay, so in this stanza, the farmer is telling us that when I'm saying the farmer, it may refer to Robert Frost or someone he's talking about. But I think that he is Robert Frost because he was a farmer too. He's telling us that he is going to bring that newborn calf. Calf is العجل, الولد تاع البقرة. He's going to bring that little calf because it's still young and it cannot stand all alone. So it needs care. Okay, so let me then of course he renewed his invitation to us as reader to join him. So the invitation is repeated here to uh, to emphasize and to make it like he is insisting this warm invitation to us as readers to join him. So I will repeat the meaning or the simplest meaning of this poem. Like the farmer is telling us, I'm going out to the pasture to do some chores. I'm going to rake the leaves out of the spring so the water can run clear and bring in the newborn calf. It shouldn't take very long. Do you want to come too? So this is it. But do you believe that Robert Frost wrote a poem just to tell us that? Just to tell us that he is going out to clean the spring and to bring a newborn calf. It's not that superficial or shallow. No, of course, we need to think twice, to double think, to know what exactly Frost wants us to understand. Okay, well, we talked about the literal meaning. A pasture, this poem, um, like it may refer to a grazing field for animals requiring care and maintenance, or reflects Frost's rural life and everyday farm work or activities, as we explained. However, the deep meaning we may interpret it in many ways. We may interpret it as it's an invitation to simplicity. This poem encourages appreciation of nature and small moments in life. We can interpret it also as a place of renewal and reflection, just as farmer cleans the pasture, people clear their minds, souls, and emotions. So it's renewal, it's rebirth, especially because the pasture was written in the spring season. كتبت في فصل الربيع. And the spring season in literature, generally speaking, symbolizes the rebirth and the renewal. It also may symbolizes tradition and life cycle, like nothing lasts forever. There is a cyclical, how to say, cyclical nature of time. So it represents persevering wisdom and passing it to future generation, because the newborn calf represents or may symbolizes new generation that needs to be guided, that needs to be taken care of. Okay, and this is the nature of force, because he was a teacher, so the sense of teaching here appeared in this spirit of guiding and transmitting or transferring wisdom to new generation. And also, the most impressive interpretation, if you remember, I told you that the pasture is, or Robert Frost placed the pasture as the introductory or the first poem in his collection, North of Boston. So, why? It was like an invitation into the larger world of Frost poetry. Like he's inviting us to join his new poetry, because he renewed poetry, marking a transition from the past to a new era of insight and understanding and opening to fresh ideas. Listen to this quote: "The figure a poem makes, it begins in delight and ends in wisdom." I quoted this from his essay, "The Figure of Poem Makes." In his essay was explaining that it's not that simple. Always a poem carries wisdom inside or within. It may, as I said, from the first glance, looks like simple, superficial, and ordinary, but it ends with delivering something. And the pasture was a good example of that. If you read the following poems in the collection, you will see that. You will see that that collection started with a delight. Then Frost, pardon, moved to more complicated, or the complicated or the philosophical nature of human relationships and other things. So this is it. At first glance, the pasture is about a small shore on a farm, but by the end, it leaves us with a gentle wisdom about life cycles, care, and the importance of shared experiences. This transformation from delight to insight is exactly what Frost meant. The language. The language of Foster, I talked about it in the biography, but there is no harm to repeat. I quoted that I had to make things understood, and that put me in the class of poets that wanted to be understood. I quoted this from an interview, as I told you. So, Robert Frost's poetry was addressed to laymen, عامة الناس, to people who can barely write and read. Like he was not like other poets who addressed their works to the elite, to the elaborated intellectual people. No, in the opposite. Frost addresses his poetry to the labor, to the low class, to everyone, literally everyone. So, contractions like shan't and I'll adds the colloquialism, informality, and intimacy to his poem, The Pasture. Persona, as I said, Robert Frost, because he used the personal pronoun I. The themes are clear: the beauty of nature and rural life, new life, rebirth, uh, renewal, new beginnings. So, all of these are themes in the pasture. The tone is peaceful, explanatory, gentle, and inviting. Frost's use of everyday language makes the poem accessible and warm. Literary devices, of course, we have imagery. There are some lines that really can create a mental image, like provoke your senses. For example, consider that line. It totters when she licks it with her tongue. Oh my god, like you will just imagine a cow and a calf, and the cow is like licking, or yeah, like licking that calf. So it is so evocative and yeah, so evocative. That's it. Symbolism, we talked about symbolism. I said that the calf represented symbolizes new beginnings or new generation, or even a new poetry, in accordance to the interpretation you adopt. And the pasture also renewal, cyclical nature of life. So this is it. Alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sound in successive or close words in a line. For example, here we have wait, watch, water. So this is alliteration, which gives a musicality and creates a internal rhyme within the line. And we have refrain, when a line or a group of lines that is repeated at intervals throughout the poem or song, often at the end of the stanza. If you remember, the last line of the first stanza is the same as the last line of the second stanza without any variation. I shan't be gone long, you come too. I shan't be gone long, you come too. We call this refrain. And we have also other literary device, which is anaphora. Anaphora occurs when the poet repeats the same word or phrase at the beginning of multiple lines. We have this: I'm going out to, I'm going out to. We call this anaphora. Okay? So this is it for the literary devices. So as I reach the end of my video, I can say that the pasture serves as both a poetic invitation and an introduction to his evolving style in north of Boston. Through its simple yet profound depiction of farm life, the poem reflects Forst's characteristic ability to find deeper meaning in the everyday. As the first poem in the collection, it acts as a gateway, guiding readers into his world of reflection, nature, and human connection. This piece captures the essence of Frost's style, rooted in traditional forms, while embracing a modernist movement that seeks both simplicity and complexity. So this is it. I hope it's gonna be useful for you, and this is it. I will be waiting for your comments, feedbacks, and this is it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.